would like to call the meeting together for the Board of Investments Audit Committee. Thank you all for being here. I'll just identify the members of the committee and just say, if you're here or not. Barry here, Peterson.
Here.
Trost.
Here.
Is Dwayne here?
Right there.
Hi, Dwayne. Great. And Porter Bennett?
You will not be here this morning, likely this afternoon and tomorrow.
All right, so we do have a quorum. I'm gonna start out with if there's any public comment relative to the jurisdiction of the committee. We'll wait for 10 minutes or so. Okay, never mind.
10 seconds.
All right.
Mark, you're not making a good thing to get ahead of the whole thing now.
Moving on, we see no public comment. Moving on, looking for approval for the committee meeting minutes of the April 10th, 2024 meeting. Move approval.
So moved, seconded Iverson.
Okay, we have a motion by Trost. We'll take a second from you, Dwayne, okay?
Yep.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's been approved. Moving on to the executive director comments. Now, you know, this is, I know that there's a lot of stuff on our committee
Right.
agenda, so, you know, we don't want to stretch it out too long, so.
I think Julie will cover everything I need to cover, so we'll just bounce right on through.
All right, then, Julie, can you go over the audit checklist and what's going on there?
Certainly. So you have the checklist in your packet, and there's a few things that were not on the checklist that I'll mention. During fiscal year 24, board staff have reviewed all the investment policy statements, and all recommended changes not already considered in the past year will be presented to the board for approval during the regular board meeting later today.
Okay, so what you're saying is staff has looked at all the IPSs and whatever changes we will be presenting.
Yeah, and there's been some already presented during the year as we have found them or we've needed new
Okay.
investment policy statements. But anything else that we needed to do will be presented later at your regular meeting.
Great, thank you.
Also, that this happened after the checklist was prepared and mailed, but for the May meeting today for the audit committee, the custodial banks ratings were reviewed from at least 2 nationally recognized statistical rating organizations and were within our governance policy requirements.
Okay.
And we are required to do that annually for you. Continuing on with what is in your checklist, just a few things that I wanted to mention. The internal control procedures were reviewed and updated during fiscal year 24. Our COOP during fiscal year 24, board staff has worked with the Department of Military Affairs, Disaster and Emergency Service Division. In addition to our work with the Department of Administration, State Street Bank is our custodial bank, as well as US Bank, which is the state's depository bank. A tabletop test was conducted in April of 2024. It was successful. And we've also updated our COOP procedures during the fiscal year.
Julie, on the tabletop, when you say it was conducted, who participated?
The Department of Military Affairs coordinated it. It was with our staff. We had Department of Administration staff. We conducted it in the room right outside of your board room. We successfully connected to our satellite and generator, backup generators, so.
When they learned that it was to make payroll for state employees, they were very excited that it worked.
That's most important.
Yep.
A couple things I will mention in regards to new GASB statements that will be implemented for fiscal year 24. The only one that is applicable is GASB Statement 100, which is accounting changes and error corrections. And per GASB, the primary objective of GASB 100 is to enhance accounting and financial reporting requirements for accounting changes and error corrections to provide more understandable, reliable, relevant, consistent, and comparable information for making the decisions or accessing accountability.
That's
Accounting-
more in GASB and understandable and all those words that you said. That doesn't make sense.
You just gotta go to tech, you'll learn it and it'll be fine.
And then when you say enhance, that just means there's more we gotta do.
You know, GASB has been very prolific in my career.
Yeah.
Accounting changes include a change in accounting principle, change in accounting estimate, and a change to or within the financial reporting entity. Error corrections result from mathematical mistakes, mistakes in application of accounting principles, or oversight or misuse of facts that existed at the time the financial statements were issued, and they were not considered subsequent events. BOI will evaluate circumstances and report accounting changes or error corrections as prescribed by GASB and as the need arises. If reporting is required, there would be associated changes to the face of the statements and note disclosures.
Julie, this is after publication of financial statements, not as a result of findings in audit and that sort of thing that are corrected during audit, are they?
Well, it's things that you can find an accounting change from when the books close to when we publish our statements. We can also find accounting changes that we made in prior years that carry forward and impact this year.
Mhm.
So accounting changes, error corrections can occur in multiple ways. I don't think we're gonna have anything to do with accounting changes for changes in reporting entity. We don't have component units. We won't have a component unit for a couple years and then drop it, which may happen with the state's ACFR report. We will have the implementation of new GASB pronouncements. So accounting changes, we will be making fairly regular changes in that area. And as far as the error corrections, I don't foresee a lot of that happening, but it could happen.
Okay.
And then for next year, GASB has Statement 101, which is compensated absences. And at this time, this statement really is not gonna have a lot of impact on us that I can foresee. We'll still record comp abs. We may have to tweak some language in our disclosures, but it's not gonna be a big deal for us.
Okay.
The only way that this impacts us is we partnered with the Department of Administration, sort of a three-way partnership between the governor's office, D of A, and us to utilize Eric Berman to help them early implement GASB 101, because then they can use some debt-free money that's floating around out there to terminate those costs. So we did pay for some of Eric's time to help D of A statewide implement. So that's the only way it's gonna impact us, but we helped because we had a means to help.
Okay, all right. Anything else on that? Okay, I do have one question on the audit checklist.
Sure.
On the internal control part, when you're talking about the COOP plan and that sort of thing, there's a statement in here during fiscal year 23, board staff have reviewed all IPSs. Is that is 23 the correct?
So we did that in 23.
Okay.
And then as I mentioned at the beginning, it didn't make our checklist, but we have also done it for 24.
Okay, so you're going to change it?
I'm gonna add that for the checklist in August, because
Okay.
we did that after the checklist was prepared for mailing.
Okay, great, okay.
And the results of that are tab 5
Right.
today.
Okay,
And I'll also update the checklist in August for the custodial review that we did, because we did it in 23 and then we've also just done it for 24.
okay. Okay, anything else? Any questions from the committee for Julie? Okay, anything that they want to talk about? All right, if there's no further business, I'll call the audit committee meeting closed.